What's up, everybody? It's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of Tyler Perry's comedy drama Sisters, Season 9, Episode 11. Surprise, surprise. And the surprise is this is the mid-season finale. Sorry that I'm giving it to you guys late. But any of you who are on my social media pages, y'all can tell that I've been ripping and running all week and weekend long for the last couple of weeks. So before I begin with the recap and review, if you are new here or if you are returning here and have not subscribed to this channel as of yet, please take a moment right now, hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all. It'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you smash that like button, which is the thumbs up button. Write a comment and join the conversation because your 2 cents counts. And share because sharing is caring. And you want to help the Sisters channel grow. And I surely thank you for that. So this episode starts off with Hayden stopping by Andy's office and telling her that she's jealous of Fatima and the flowers and the attention that she's getting and yada, yada, yada. And Andy's denying it, of course. Then Hayden lets her know that he is working with Dr. Cruz. He is his tax attorney. And Andy is livid. She's pissed. So when she sees Benson walks by, she asks to talk to him. And she finds out that, yes, he needed a tax attorney. And so I recommended Hayden. And that now that he's a client, you can't be suing him, basically. And she was like telling him all this stuff. But he has another name, an alias. And he has a suit against him, a class action suit in Alabama. And he's like, let it go. So basically, come on, Andy. You know what this is all about. You a black female. They're white males. Come on, they're going to stick together. You can say whatever you want until it's their wife or their friend or their sister or whoever. But what annoys me is Hayden. He could care less about black women. Like what somebody said years ago, he must not have gotten hugged enough. And then with Tamara leaving him, then he gets grief from Fatima getting beat up by people. Andy don't show him no respect. He just like, screw black women. He don't care. We don't even know if he would care if it happened to his mama. I don't know. So next we see Karen finally holding faith and realizing that she had made something so beautiful. And I think y'all know it's a few months later. It's not a few weeks later. I believe it's a few months later. And that's why Faith is a bigger size baby. Because I was concerned about it when I saw it last week. But anyway, she's like looking at her, adoring her little baby girl. And she asks her mom for some space. Her mom goes in her room and takes a nap. And I guess Karen was cooing and shaking the baby, and she put it down in the crib, and then she starts crying. And I'm like, well, why she's crying? I didn't understand why she was crying. But the next thing we know, here is Aaron coming home, and he's like, hey, Karen, now, why would you come in the house yelling that when Faith could be laying right there sleeping? And then he acting like he whispering when Miss Lisa come out the room, oh, y'all in there asleep, but the door's closed. Then you came in yelling, but he automatically is nervous and concerned because he don't see them. He's gonna call her. Oh, the phone is still here. The car keys, she shouldn't be driving. Well, the car keys are still here. Where's she at? Why you didn't think to call her first? So what they finding out is Karen went out with the baby somewhere. So Miss Lisa's calm, but all of a sudden, for whatever reason, Aaron is concerned. It's just strange that he's concerned. And so he's hurrying out to go and check and see if she's out there walking, taking the baby for a walk. I said, is the stroller missing? Why don't y'all look for the stroller? But it didn't even have to. She could have had him on her, like the baby carrier. It could be that too. Anywho, we have Andy telling Fatima that Benson doesn't want her to pursue the court case against Dr. Cruz. And Fatima's like, I'm really sorry, whatever. And she's like, oh, it don't matter because I'm not letting it go. I'm still going to do it. I don't care. And Fatima's like, you sure? And she's like, yeah. Then Andy puts on her friend hat and asks if Fatima is something wrong. And Fatima said, no. I kind of appreciate Fatima not telling her. I don't know why. But, she didn't tell her what's going on because I guess it is personal. But what happened was Fatima just got finished talking to the nurse in her doctor's office and saying Zach came in there saying something. Now, we don't know what he said, but Fatima is hot and heated. And when Andy left, she grabbed her stuff and was going out the door saying she's sick of this stuff. Then we see Zach and, what's his name, Rich. in whatever that bar is where they go there to drink. Anyway, and Zach is thanking him for looking out for him back there at the juice bar. And he was telling Rich a little bit of some of the stuff. And Rich was like, well, maybe she didn't know about the pocketbook or maybe this. And he said, yeah, but he said he brought her more stuff and she didn't tell me about it. He said, well, maybe she didn't care about it. And Zach is like, still, she should have told me. He's like, okay, fine. No other guy should be buying nobody, then somebody else's woman something. Because Zach is like, he dropped 6 racks on that pocketbook, that K, whatever pocketbook it was. And so he was pissed. And then Fatima going to set it up and all of this stuff. I was like, he wasn't even giving Fatima the benefit of the doubt. And Rich is like, you think they messing around? He said, they better not be. I'm going to be on the news tonight. I said, your ass going to be on the news tonight getting a beat down from Fatima. Know this if you come at her with this mess. I'm just saying. And then Rich shared what he did, talking about he lost Sabrina because she caught him having sex with Penelope. And he's like, yo, in the juice bar. And Zach's like, wait a minute, I just had 2 shakes in there. He said, don't worry, I had it cleaned out twice. I had it cleaned twice. He's like, yeah, whatever, you know. But he said, then I saw with this random dude. He said, yo, Sabrina ain't like that. That's what Zach is saying. Sabrina ain't like that. So you really messed up. She gone, you know. And I forgot that Zach was the one guy who was in the sister circle who knew what was happening with everybody when he was dating Karen. But then Rich tells him that he was already broken up when she caught him. He said, then ain't nothing. You didn't cheat. He said, but I always hoped that we would get back together. He said, but now she probably never take my ass back again. And Zach was like, right, because that visual is probably etched in her brain for the rest of her life, you know. And I was like, you right about that. Then over at the bank, we see Sabrina showing Maurice a picture of the doctor, Jamal's penis. And he's like, airdrop a copy to me. She's like, no, but you shouldn't even be showing it to him, Sabrina. You're just sharing too much, girl. And he's like, so you gonna, she's like, should I see him again? And he was like, yes, but just for sex. He said, don't be inviting him to some doggone restaurant getting to know each other. Because he said, I already see it. Sabrina already trying to, you know, have a relationship or whatever it is with him. And then that's what Rich has said. She probably done fell in love with him already within a month or something like that. Because Sabrina's so quick for everything. But anywho, while they're talking, Paige comes in talking about some work that needs to get done and talking to Sabrina about it. And next thing she look up and her brother Dylan is coming in. Dylan, she thinking Dylan came to see her when he came to see Maurice. Talking about bringing some vision board or something or whatever. And Maurice is staring at him and he's staring at Maurice. And Sabrina is looking at both of them like, okay, I see what's going on. Paige is the only one that seemed like she a bit clueless for a minute till she start realizing, wait a minute, you're not here for me. You here for, you know, and Sabrina's like, Paige, I need your help somewhere with over this with something. And she's like, no, I just need 15 minutes with, she said, Paige, now over here, help me. And so Dylan and Maurice made a date. And so he asked Maurice for his address and Maurice said, okay. And then Maurice asked him, do he eat smothered pork chops or something like that? And he said, I'll eat whatever you make. And then I'll ask for seconds. And Maurice is like, I think I done made myself. I said, oh my God. It's like, they are funny. But I have a feeling Paige is going to get jealous of that relationship. You know, she did say her brother was cool and everything. But, you know, now her little work friend is going to be Dylan's boyfriend. And if anything happens between Maurice and Dylan, then it's going to affect her relationship at work with Maurice. Don't y'all think so? Put it down in the comment section if y'all feel the same way. So now we have Danny. She comes home early only to find Tony on her couch eating chips or whatever, haven't cleaned up one thing, open boxes of fast food all over the place, and she's pissed. She sits down, makes him turn down that volume on that TV, and she asks him, what is he doing? You know, what are you doing? He's talking about he came up with this great idea to help with the fun money that he gonna move in with her and rent out his house. Somebody tell me, why is he at her house if he still has his? Somebody please put in the comment section, because these writers are not making one bit of sense. They're not making any sense. Talking about the help with the money. Go your behind home, boy. And I don't know why Danny's allowing him. So when he said that, all Danny kept doing is shaking her head like, you say what now? You know, and then he was like, yeah. And she just got up and walked out without saying nothing else to him, because she said she had to go meet Sabrina and her cousin. And that's, we know, going to be funny, especially when Sabrina find out that Dr. Jamal Rock is really Danny's cousin, Rock, who's been in prison 8 times 7 if you don't count the one that's been expunged. It's gonna be, I know it's gonna be funny. So now we have this quick scene with Danny, and Pam comes into a bar and she sees Danny and asks what she's doing there. Shouldn't she be at work? And Danny's like, shouldn't you be at the shop? So I was like, okay. And she said, I'm just waiting for my cousin and Sabrina for happy hour drinks. And she said, well, I'm here for a drink too. And she lets them know how Karen came in the shop and was upset to see how it was running and stuff. And she's saying she's one person, only she trying to run her business and Karen's business. And Danny's telling her she can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. And so Pam is saying she'll figure it out after she has this drink, basically. And she's like, you didn't see me here. She said, okay, I didn't see you there. But Danny did tell her the salon is the last thing Karen should be worried about. And Pam is like she's trying to stick it out because she know that Karen is going through it. So now back at the bar where Rich and Zach are, Rich is trying to tell Zach to chill because Zach is white boy wasted. He's trying to order drinks for everybody in the bar. He's doing this. His speech is slurring and all kind of stuff. So what ends up happening, Zach get tired of Rich telling him what not to do. Zach trying to get Rich to get drunk like him and stuff. And Rich grabs Zach's cell phone and calls Sabrina. And Sabrina's fussing like, what are you doing calling me here for Zach's phone? This better not be no mess. He said, could you just listen? And he tells her that Zach is wasted and he needs his address because he don't think he should be driving. He just want to take him home. And Sabrina was getting the particulars of what's going on. And then he said, okay, fine. She texted him the address. And so he left out of the bar to take Zach home. Meanwhile, Fatima's still in her office. I thought she had left when she got that message from the doctor's office. Maybe they piecing stuff together in the wrong way or something. But she was back at her desk and Chaz calls her and tells her what happened with Zach. She's like, what? And then the last thing he says is that, once she told him that he can't do that. He shouldn't be sending her stuff there because you too young to notice, but my man ain't going to see it that way. And he told her, well, next time he ain't going to hold back. But she should have said, next time you need not do that. You need not send anything to my house. It's like, come on. So, but she didn't say that. And I don't understand why she didn't. But anywho, she gets up to go there and see what's going on. She gets a call from Sabrina. Sabrina lets her know that where Zach is and that he's wasted, he's drunk. And she said that makes sense because I was trying to call him all day. So she's like, is everything okay? Yes. And so I'm guessing Fatima's going home now and Sabrina's going to meet Danny. So now Sabrina shows up to that place where she was the other night meeting people, meeting guys and stuff. And she sees Danny already drinking, asking what's wrong. And Danny's like, Tony wants to move in with me. And so Sabrina's trying to give her good reasons why that could be good, that he's there with her. She won't be lonely. He could cook for her. He'll help with the money, da da da. And she's like, no, did that or done that. You get all the sex, I get that anyway. She's like, give me something else. So Danny's like, have you met me? I don't need to have somebody around. I'm my own entertainment, basically. And so then Sabrina's like, okay. So she said, well, anyway, I got some tea for you. And she let her know about, she found out from Maurice about Andy. And that Andy was there last night on a date with Dr. Vaughn. And Sabrina said, she told me she was only there to pick up fast food. And Danny said, she left me at Karen's house saying she had a business meeting. So they said, there she go again with that line and stuff to us. She said, they were saying, we don't care who she dates, but why she got to lie about it? And while they're talking about it, the phone rings and it's Aaron. He's looking for Karen. Neither one of them have seen Karen. So they're like, she might be there at the salon cussing Pam out because I saw Pam here and Pam said that the place is a circus. So they hung up. So now back over to Karen's apartment, Miss Lisa and Aaron come back in. They can't find him. Aaron's losing his mind. He's going crazy. She's telling him to calm down. Then he sees that Karen left a note and he opens it up and Miss Lisa said, what does it say? And he reads it quick and he closes it. And it switches back to Danny and Sabrina. Danny and Sabrina are there and Danny see her cousin coming and Rock comes over. Sabrina's like, no, 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 no. And she's like, what? She said, that's the doctor whose big ding dong you saw a picture of. All of a sudden, Danny started going, Like she don't see her cousin's penis. It's like, she's like getting sick from it. She can't believe it. She said, "That's what you get." And I'm sitting there going, "That's what Sabrina get for sharing it. You stop sharing stuff like that. That picture was for you, not to be shared with everybody that you know. You know what I mean? That's childish when people do stuff like that. Grow up, be mature." So he comes over and is like, "Oh, y'all friends? Oh, I didn't know y'all knew each other and all this stuff." And Sabrina is just like trying to hide her face still. And Danny's look choking like she can't even breathe. And, and he's like, "You know what? I'm going to leave y'all be and not interrupt with this little girl thing y'all got going on. I have to see a patient." And she said, "What you mean, a prison mate?" And she's still choking and stuff. And Sabrina's like, "A prison mate?" She just like seriously clueless. She's like, "That's what we're doing. We lying." And Rock is like, "I'll have to tell Mother I saw you. It was lovely seeing you. Sabrina, we'll chop it up later." He throws her a kiss. She's like, "Okay." I was like, "Girl, did you not hear the part about prison? Hello?" So while Sabrina is saying this is weird, Danny's phone rang and it's Aaron calling. And he tells her, "We have a problem. Karen has gone with Faith and she left a note." And so Danny asks, "What does the note say?" And he said, "It says, I can't do this. It's time to end this chapter." And you know, you gonna write something like that. Don't take your cell phone. Don't have your car keys. Are you gonna kill yourself? You will kill a baby. What are you doing? You running away and don't want nobody to find you? It makes no sense. You have needed help all your life. If not from your mama, it's from your girls. So is she still not supposed to be in her right mind? Would she be running away if she still had both babies? You know, even though she went through that postpartum and stuff and then the grief, which I'm just like, would she have run away if she still had Zach's baby and not Aaron's? And Aaron's was the one that was stillborn? What do y'all think? Put it in the comment section, please. Then we have a scene with Andy in her penthouse and she's on the phone with Dr. Vaughn and they're talking and chatting it up. And then I guess she get a call from downstairs and she said, "Oh, my food is ready. I've been waiting over an hour for it to be delivered. I'll talk to you later." And so she tells them to send the food up. And when she stands up and turn around, it's Gary standing there inside her elevator. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And that's how that storyline ended. And then one of the last ones is Fatima and Zach. She comes home slamming the door, mad at him because he took a meeting with Chaz just to start a fight with him. And he was all, Zach was passed out like drunk on the couch and they got into a big argument and stuff and talking about communication. And he's mad because she gave him a $6,000 purse and you didn't tell me that he sent you other gifts. And she's like, I didn't think it mattered because I gave them all away. Oh, you got it like that and stuff. And then just say you like ball players. And Fatima was like, "I know you're not trying to loop me in with some groupie biatches." And he was like, "I didn't say that." She said, "No, you said it loud and clear." And then she was like, "What are we doing? We don't even communicate like this." And he's like, "Oh, communication, that's something you lacking in these days." She said, "Oh, really? You want to go there?" He said, "Yeah, let's go there." Then she went at him about the doctor's office and what he did. And she had to let him know, "My body, my choice." He's like, "I didn't call them. They called me." And I told them we're exploring other options. And she said, "I told you we are not. I'm going to have it in the hospital. And I would like if you would respect that. Is that communicating enough to you?" And he's like, "Crystal clear." They tried to use that crystal clear thing like they used on Zatima before, but it didn't come over the same way because her name is Crystal, Anywho, as she was walking away pissed and going upstairs, he said, "You sure there's not something else you want to get off your chest and tell me?" Then he told her that he overheard her talking to Danny about his baby and that she was glad that the baby died and all this stuff. And she was like, "Zach," she stopped in her tracks and turned around and said, "I didn't mean it like that." He said, "You just didn't want to be bothered with Karen anymore, having to deal with her." Shit, that's not as good reason for the baby to die, but damn, that would have been a relief off of her. The stress that she would have been going through while she having her own child. Come on. But she was like, "Zach, I was there with her every step of the way. I'm the one that took her to the hospital. I've been very supportive." He said, "You're deflecting. You're good at that." And she said, "You know what? I'm not about to argue with a drunk." "Oh, we name calling?" She said, "Look, you drinking in the middle of the day is effing embarrassing. I'm not doing this." And Zach said, "Where are you going?" She said, "None of your damn business." And so she grabbed her pocketbook and left out of her house. And who comes up her driveway rubbing his hands together, smiling and cheesing, talking about Fatima. And she's like, "Chaz, what are you doing here?" And Zach comes out the house and says, "I want to know the same effing thing." And what we can see is that Chaz wasn't alone. He had somebody else with him. But he is all the way being disrespectful and he is out of line. So that's the way this episode ended. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought about this scene. Sorry I'm so late with this recap and review. But I will see you all in the next video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I will see you all on October 8th when Sisters returns. It's your girl Barbie J saying peace.